La coalición nos apoya en organizar nuestras comunidades para avanzar la justicia y la determinación para lograr lo que en el pasado no pensábamos que es posible, y le doy tantas gracias a la coalición y su equipo por avanzar esa misión. Gracias. My advocacy journey really started when I made the intentional decision to come work for my community, in my community, and with my community at Centro. It taught me the importance and the value of building coalition, of finding your allies, and ultimately that's what really put me in a position to run for office and win. A few years ago, when the Coalition of Communities of Color came to Washington County and began conceptualizing the Leading with Race report, we really recognized that we had a knowledge gap that told the story of the disparity that exists in communities of color across so many different indicators, across many different demographics, and that it gives all of our other partners the same language and the same tools to look at a problem from that vantage point. It's a game changer.
The CCC formed to bring visibility to communities of color, right? We've always existed in this community. We have a lot to offer and a lot to say. I think in our politics, a lot of folks, including myself when I was growing up, didn't feel like it was for us, where we weren't encouraged to be a part of that process. And I think what Apano and CCC are trying to do is counter that narrative and reshift it. We've seen the defeats of Measure 105, the anti-immigrant measure, and 106, anti-reproductive choice, and that was centered and led by communities of color. We're stepping up to meet the political moment and not waiting for decision makers to realize what's happening, but for us to step into power so that we can create the Oregon that we need for the future. No task is too small, and they offer up their space to be a learning environment.
I'm connected through the coalition, through the research fellowship I did last year. My focus was a Mixteco community in Washington County. They felt that they were invisible and that their indigenous identity always is minimized. I'm starting to find community with other Mixtecos because due to fellowship I participated in, we're actually now planning an event for Mixteco community.
Here in this country, you are welcome to share your opinion, to give advice, to voice your need. Working together with Coalition helps us really improve the civic engagement of our community. On the level where often Slavic and Eastern European Center cannot reach, I believe that Coalition is that bridge between the communities of color and our decision makers.
Our diversity is our strength, and we are trying to serve our community in so many different ways. You don't see this really anywhere else in the United States, and so us coming together, fighting for each other, defending each other, and bringing everybody's funding up, using data and information to our advantage has been extremely helpful. And if you look at what happened with these organizations over the past 5 or 10 years, it is like night and day.
They also bring to bear the power of our collective voices in a way that we could never do as a single organization. We're not in this business to be in perpetuity talking about disparities and gaps. Our dream is that we wouldn't need as many safety nets as we do because we want a system that's functioning, that is inclusive and reflective of everyone's needs. We have a lot of work to do to get there, but the coalition is definitely a key partner. It's just like an extended family. That is something that feels really good to belong to.
It's this incredible space for my generation to be in, to stand on the shoulders of the leaders that set up all of this work of our ancestors from all of these communities. I'm in a place where we can finally begin to implement and to take that work and to make something happen for the people that it's intended to serve. And that is the biggest opportunity that we have in the next decade, and I think we're going to do it.